All right, everybody, today we're going to be going over multiplication and division of equations. I'm going to do the odds. I'll leave the evens for you. All right, if we start with number one, we see we have 7a equals 56. Well, if we're multiplying 7 and a, I have to get a by itself. So I'm going to divide 7 from 7a. But whatever I divide from one side, I have to divide from the other. The reason I'm dividing 7 from 7a is it will eliminate my 7s because any number over itself equals 1. This will leave me with a. Now I have 56 divided by 7, and that will equal 8. And that's my answer. Let's go to number 3 now. Number 3 states that 14 equals 14c. Once again, I have to get c by itself. I will divide 14 from 14c. This will enable me to go ahead and get c alone, because 14 over 14 is 1, which leaves me 1c. But whatever I divide from one side, again, I have to divide from the other. That leaves me with 14 over 14. And 14 divided by 14, of course, is 1. Number 5 states that k divided by 12 equals 2. Well, this time I'm doing division. And since I always do the opposite to solve, that means I must do multiplication. I'm going to multiply my denominator to my equation here, and 12 over 12, of course, will give me k all alone. Of course, whatever I do to one side, again, I have to do the other. So I will multiply 2 by 12 on this side, which will give me 24. Let's press on. Number 7 is as good a place as any to go ahead and have our code word. So our code word is going to be, let's see, how about Rocket Man? Okay, so those of you that put Rocket Man there, I'll know, watch the video. Okay, number 7 states I have 66 equals a negative 11y. Again, I have to go ahead and get 11 or y alone, but I have a negative 11 here, and I have to remember to also divide that negative sign with my 11 because I don't want to have negative y left over. But whatever I divide from one side, it must be divided from the other, which gives me 66 divided by negative 11. A positive number divided by a negative number is going to give me a negative number, and 66 divided by 11 will give me 6. So y is going to equal negative 6. 9 states that z over negative 8 will equal negative 15. Once again, I'm dividing, so I'll have to multiply my denominator to this side in order to eliminate it. This will give me z by itself. And then I can go ahead and state that I need to multiply negative 8 to negative 15. And if I multiply negative 8 to negative 15, I believe I'm going to get 120. Remember, a negative times a negative equals a positive. Number 11 is next. Number 11 states that I have g over 4 equals 5. Once again, I will multiply 4 because my denominator is 4. That will be like saying 4 over 1, right? And I have a 4 on top, 4 on the bottom, which leaves me g by itself. And then I have to multiply the other side by 4 because my quality rule states that whatever I do to one side, I'll do to the other. That's 5 times 4, and that's, everyone knows that's 20. We're off to number 13. Not too many left for me to do. I got t over 9. Let's just whiz through this. I'm dividing, so that means I have to multiply my denominator to both, which leaves me t. And if I multiply 9 to one side, I must do it to the other. That's going to give me a negative 72. Once again, I'm dividing, which means I will multiply my denominator 6, eliminating 6 from my equation, and give me w on this side. And of course, that's going to go ahead and leave me with 6 times negative 7 over here. 6 times negative 7 should be negative 42. Number 17 is next, and we're back to multiplying my coefficient with my variable. And once again, I have to realize that I need to get rid of my coefficient to get my variable alone. So I will go ahead and divide this by negative 9. because negative 9 over 9, or negative 9 over negative 9, excuse me, will be b by itself. Of course, whatever I divide from one side, I have to divide from the other. That gives me 18 divided by negative 9, which is going to be negative 2. For those of you confused by that, remember, a positive number divided by a negative number gives you a negative number, and 18 divided by 9 is 2. I'm on my last one. That means it shouldn't take you too long to do this homework either, huh? We got negative 44 on this side equals 4h. Well, once again, I want to get my coefficient away from my variable, which means I have to divide that number by the coefficient, which gives me 4 over 4, leaving me h. And of course, whatever I divide from one side, I have to divide from the other. A negative number divided by a positive number will give me a negative number, and 44 divided by 4 is 11. So my answer is negative 11. I've done my share of work. Now it's time for you to do yours. Be looking forward to seeing you in class, and hope all of you get 100% on this. See you there. See you there.